The imperial palace of Draktherion was never quiet, even at dawn. The obsidian halls hummed with molten heat from the lava rivers that flowed beneath the floor. Dragon nobles, scaled powerful, arrogant, moved with the confidence of predators who ruled half the known galaxy. But today, something was different. A young human woman named Elara Quinn stood alone in the grand audience chamber, clutching a wooden broom like a spear. She was 22, small by dragon standards, and a servant only because her ship had been captured 6 months earlier. She wasn't chained. She wasn't beaten. But she was ignored, considered harmless, insignificant. Elara didn't mind. Insignificance gave freedom, and freedom let her observe all the things she wasn't meant to see. Like today's problem. Smoke curled under the massive, ceremonial door as embers crackled from inside the room. Elara's eyes widened. Oh no, no, no. Not again. The great pyre, a sacred ceremonial flame, had begun to spill out of its containment bowl. A single drop of dragon fire could melt steel. A spilled one. It was about to set the entire chamber ablaze. If the fire spread, the blame would fall on her. Okay? Elara, you survived Deathworld jungles, freezing void leaks, and 3 near kidnappings in the marketplace. You can handle one magical superfire. She sprinted to the side panel, grabbed the only tool she had, a human fire suppressant compound she'd engineered from palace kitchen ingredients. Dragons refused to use it. Water is dishonorable, they said. Dragonfire bows to no lesser flame, they said. Well, Elara thought, they are wrong. She ran straight toward the open pyre bowl. The stone surrounding it glowed orange. Flames danced, wild and hungry, licking toward priceless ancient banners. Elara uncorked her mix. Screw honor with one swift motion. She threw her entire bucket of human-engineered suppressant onto the fire. A thunderous hiss echoed through the hall. The sacred flames sputtered, then dimmed, then collapsed entirely, nothing left but faint blue wisps. She exhaled, trembling. That should not have worked, she muttered. But it did. She turned around and froze. Standing in the doorway was a figure 7 meters tall, with royal crimson scales that shimmered like stars swallowed by magma. Emperor Keltharion the Unbroken, ruler of 12 star systems, son of the first flame, supreme sovereign of the Drakthir Dominion, and he had arrived 1 hour earlier than expected. Buckets slipped out of her hands. The Emperor stared at the extinguished sacred pyre. His pupils narrowed to thin, black slits. His wings twitched. His chest rose sharply, then sharply again. He was hyperventilating. The dragon, Emperor whose roar could split mountains, looked like he might collapse. Why, your Imperial Majesty? Elara stammered. I can explain. The Emperor lifted a talon in a silent command to stop Dotta's voice. When it came was a trembling thunder. Human, female. What have you done? Elara swallowed. I prevented a palace fire. You extinguished the great pyre. Yes, sir, that pyre has burned for 4,000 years. I noticed it was melting the walls. He blinked twice. You used water? Not exactly. I used a compound I made. The Emperor's eyes widened so far she thought they might fall out of his skull. Then he stepped forward. The heat radiating from his body pushed the air like a furnace. His shadow engulfed her. His head lowered until his massive snout was inches from her face. He inhaled sharply, scanning her scent. Emotions, fear, heartbeat. She stood still. After a long moment, he spoke. "You are not afraid of me." "I'm terrified," Ilara said honestly. "But fear doesn't fix problems." The Emperor exhaled so deeply the banner shook. Then something impossible happened. He laughed. It wasn't mocking. It wasn't cruel. It was relieved. "In all my centuries," he said, "never have I seen a servant run toward dragonfire." "Prefer not to die," she said dryly. He stared at her with something strange, something dragons rarely showed to humans. "Respect your name," he demanded. "Quinn, you will come with me. Am I under arrest?" "No," he said. "You are under recognition." She blinked. "Is that better?" He did not answer. Instead, he marched through the palace corridors, Ilara jogging behind him, until they reached a council chamber. Dragon nobles were waiting sleek, powerful creatures with jeweled horns and wings like molten bronze. At the Emperor's arrival, they bowed deeply, but when they saw their eyes narrowed in disgust. A human. In the Imperial Hall, one spat, "Your Majesty, this is improper." The scent alone is silence. Emperor Keltharion said. Instant quiet. The Emperor gestured toward the circle of nobles. "Observe the girl." Ilara blinked nervously. What did she do? A noble growled. She extinguished the great pyre. The room erupted. Impossible. Blasphemy. Punish her. The Emperor held up one talon. She extinguished it because it was overflowing. Because our ceremonial wardens failed their duties. Because we, the rulers of 12 systems, nearly burned down our own throne room. Silence, shock, shame, he continued, and she did so using intelligence. Engineering skill and bravery qualities dragons claim to hold above all. Yet none of you noticed the danger. The nobles shifted uncomfortably. "She ran toward fire," the Emperor said. "While you stand here arguing, then the unexpected." He lowered his massive body and bowed his head to her. The nobles gasped. Elara nearly passed out. The Emperor's voice rumbled like a quiet volcano. "Ilara Quinn of Terra, I owe you my palace, my legacy, and perhaps the lives of all within these walls." "Why, you don't owe me anything," Ilara stammered. "I do," he said. "And dragons repay debts." In full, he lifted his head. "From this moment forward, you are no longer a servant." Her heart hammered. "You are Imperial Keeper of the Sacred Flame, first of your name, advisor to the throne." Ilara's jaw dropped. The nobles sputtered. The Emperor ignored them. "You will have full access to the palace, laboratories, records, and authority second only to my own." But I'm human." She, Stammered. He grinned, revealing fangs longer than her arms. "I am aware. Yet humans continue to surprise us." His eyes softened. "And today, you surprised even me." The Emperor took a step closer and lowered his voice. "Tomorrow, I will ask you how you created that suppressant compound." "Sure," she whispered. "Tonight," he said, "you rest. You have saved a legacy older than your species." Ilara finally found her voice. "Your Majesty, why were you so shocked earlier, when you saw what I did?" The Emperor turned away embarrassed. "Because," he muttered, "I previously decreed that the great pyre was eternal and unextinguishable, a symbol of our pride. And I just threw a bucket on it." Yes, he said, and in doing so, you extinguished more than a flame. What else? He looked over his shoulder, eyes glowing with new understanding. You extinguished our arrogance.